Hey everyone, today we're going to be checking out the Core Sling Collection from Able Carry. And Able Carry has released some of my favorite new bags over the past couple of years, so I was excited to hear that they were going to be expanding their lineup. And a sling feels like a great fit for their ecosystem as it's a versatile travel and everyday carry accessory that can work well on its own. It can pair with a backpack, and so I was excited to see, Able Carry's take on the sling form factor. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to use these over the past couple of weeks. I'll show you how I've loaded them out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how they compare to some of the other similar items that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Here I have their Core Sling and Core Sling Mini. These come in at about 2.5 liters and 1 liters. And so, these are really great daily carry sling sizes. They're able to handle the items that you don't want to keep in your pockets, but that don't necessarily require a full-fledged backpack. And in typical Able Carry fashion, I really love the kind of rugged, modern aesthetic that they have. I think that they look great. They're offered in a few different fabrics. There is a ripstop nylon, and then they're also going to be releasing a version in Ultra. And so here I have the ripstop version. I really like the green colorway here. And so they feel really durable. On the exterior, you have some webbing to allow you to clip on additional accessories. And then you're gonna have different straps depending on the size that you go with. So with the Core Sling Mini, you're gonna have the simpler strap that has, these clips that make it easy to remove the strap if you need to. It's great that you have the option to wear this as a sling bag or transform them into tech pouches. That's one of the things that I always look for with any sling, and so I really like how easy that is here. Both are gonna offer this 360 kind of swivel system to make it easy to just put the sling on, adjust it, and so you have the thinner strap for the small sling, and then you have a more robust strap for the larger string. So here you have padding that feels reminiscent of Able Carry's backpack straps, which are some of my favorite on the market. And so I like how long this is to give you plenty of flexibility with kind of adjusting it. It's gonna be comfortable to wear. You can adjust the length of the straps from either side. You also have a hidden buckle here, kind of tucks away so that you can release this if you want to, but it's not super prominent. Then you have an attachment point here on the loop. And like the smaller sling, if you want to transform this into a tech pouch, you can fully remove these. And then you also have a couple of attachment points on the exterior that you can use to clip on additional gear, maybe a hand sanitizer or water bottle. And the layouts on these are gonna be a little bit different depending on the size. So the smaller one is gonna have a more minimal layout, but both have this kind of elastic stretch pocket on the front. It comes out a decent amount. This is ultra stretch, and so it feels durable. It's gonna give you some flexibility for any items that you wanna be able to grab a little bit more easily, some breath mints, hand sanitizer, just something that you wanna reach. And then for the Core Sling Mini, you have kind of a simple main compartment here, and they're still gonna offer enough volume for something like sunglasses. That's one of the things that I most often carry in a sling. And so you can see that there's enough volume here for other sort of, accessories, tech items. And then you have a little lanyard here that you can remove or adjust with a clip. At the moment, I'm just using it to store a flashlight here. And then you have a few elastic slip pockets on the inside. One of them is holding just a little sewing kit. And then I have a phone mount. And on the back, you have a zippered mesh compartment that, again, is just gonna be a good spot for smaller gear. Here I have another pair of scissors, a little multi-tool. So just kind of tossing in a couple of items to take a look at there. And then I love that this form factor can work as a tech pouch, could even work as a toiletry bag. It's just kind of a very small, useful, simple sling. And then taking a look at the larger sling, you still have that elastic slip pocket on the front with that same ultra stretch material. On the back with this one, you have a zippered pocket that stays closer to your body for anything a little bit more sensitive, like a passport, wallet. Here I just have a Field Notes notebook. And then you have an additional organizational compartment on the front with a few slip pockets and enough volume to handle, things like a portable battery. I also tossed in my AirPods into one of the slip pockets. And then you again have a little lanyard that you can remove, adjust with a little clip for your keys or a multi-tool. And then moving into the main compartment, you have again a nice amount of volume. I just have another pair of sunglasses here, but this could be the type of thing that would be able to handle maybe a smaller umbrella, a camera, and then you have a zippered mesh pocket on the front that is gonna be, a good spot for pens, tools. Here I have a pen as well as a pocket knife. Both of those just fit in there without any issue. And then you have this sort of floating pocket here that separates the compartment out. So if you want to store something on the back, I like that it's kind of adjustable, so it'll move depending on where you want to put different things. On the back, I just have a little medical kit with some band-aids and ointment, and then you have a zippered pocket in the middle that's going to be great for any other accessories at the moment. I'm just using this to store a little charging cable. And again, really love the layout and the flexibility that these provide. I'm always a fan when sling bags or pouches like these can kind of adapt to various volumes. So if you're not carrying as much, it'll slim down, it'll pack flatter into a bag if you need to. And then of course, it's always great to be able to remove the strap if you don't want to actually use it as a sling. So, really great to see Able Carry to continue to expand their lineup. And if you're looking for durable, versatile slings, I think these are going to be some great options to consider. And so to wrap up, you can currently pre-order these on Able Carry's site. I'll include a link in the description below to the product page if you want to learn more or pick one of these up. And so as I was testing these out, the first sling they made me think of is Bellroy's Venture Collection. I've been a big fan of the aesthetic and the layout of those slings. They're offered in a couple of different sizes. I also like the more kind of rugged appearance that they offer. They have a pretty flexible capacity, and in general, they just work very well. They have Bellroy's typical quality and style. I also thought of the Civic Access sling from Evergoods. That's been one of my favorites as far as the layout. I really like how it has the larger kind of front compartment to be able to handle lots of different types of gear, and then you have the admin section close to your body. Got a nice kind of comfortable back panel, and it's one of these sling bags that I think works best as both the sling and as a waist pack, and so that's something that I really like about that one. You can't remove the strap on it, so it doesn't turn into a tech pouch per se, but as far as slings and waist packs goes, that one is really, really great. And then this also made me think of some of the options from Air. I really like their City Sling collection. They updated it pretty recently, and it's gonna have a more kind of modern techie vibe, really nice organizational layout, very solid materials. I believe that with the new version, you can actually remove the strap, and it's just gonna offer a very sleek style, very useful layout. And so, any of those are gonna be great to consider, but I do think that the Core Sling collection holds up well against all those options. As always, I'm a big fan of Able Carry's sort of design language, the materials that they use. And so if you're looking for a sling that's gonna be flexible, that you can use as a tech pouch, then I think these are gonna be some great options to consider. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the Core Sling collection and how they compare it to some of the other popular slings that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank Able Carry for sending the Core Sling collection for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.